bacon, sausage, eggs, home fries, pancakes, and real maple syrup too. And following that, we're going to be breaking into some small teams and sending some people out to the surrounding area to clean up some trash. So what is a geocache? That's a good question. So a geocache is a container hidden anywhere in the world, and people go out and find it using a GPS unit or a GPS-enabled device like a smartphone.
Okay.
Yeah, and each geocache, the geocache can be as big as a rain barrel or as small as the tip of your finger. And a geocache always contains a logbook that people will go and sign their username into, username and date. Some of the larger ones contain trade items.
So you're going to be, my understanding is that people are going to head out in teams into the conservation area, and they're going to be searching for these geocaches and at the same time picking up trash along the way, right?
Exactly, yeah. And the sites are going to vary from like a stroll in the playground area to going out in the forest and taking out all sorts of odds and ends.
Very cool. Ian, I want to hear about what got you involved in geocaching. How did that first exploration happen?
Many, many years ago, 2006. I was looking for a faster way to get to Toronto. And the roads in eastern Ontario all kind of run from if you're on the St. Lawrence, they run perpendicular to the river. And so I was running at cross purposes and was always wondering why I was heading east or southeast when I wanted to go southwest. So I bought a GPS unit, and on that map, I was able to find a neater way, but I also found out lots of small back roads that existed in eastern Ontario that I didn't know previously existed. On my GPS manual was a reference to an activity called geocaching. So I went to the geocaching.com website and typed in my postal code as they asked me to. And lo and behold, the first nearest geocache to my house was under 4 kilometers away.
Oh, so you're not going to not visit it, right?
So I was so excited. My wife thought I was crazy. I'm a retired guy, and she thought I was acting like I was at an 8-year-old at a birthday party. But I went tearing off into the woods, and I found this container and it was a bazooka gum pail. And inside were things from McDonald's toys, as I like to call them.
Okay.
And I was so excited because the latitude and longitude that I put into my GPS took me within 10 feet, 10 meters, 3 meters of that geocache. And I was so excited. So when I came home, I told her. And I immediately looked, and I noticed there were about 25 or 30 more within about 25 kilometers of my house.
So at that point, you were hooked.
I was hooked.
So Tim, tell me, so we're hearing about these McDonald's toys and the first one that Ian found. What kinds of things might people expect, I mean, without ruining the surprise, might people expect to find at this event in the geocaches?
As I mentioned, they range in size, so some of the small ones can't really fit any trinkets in there. But anything from pins and small children's toys to coin exchanges, anything could be out there. And we have about 55 new geocaches placed in and around the Russell area for Saturday.
So it's just riddled with secrets.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's plenty out there to do.
When I first started in 2006, 8 years ago, there were about 50 geocaches in eastern Ontario, outside the Ottawa area to the Quebec border. There's over 600 now.
Wow. As much as we're talking about the things that you can find, the rewards at the end, this whole game, this whole sort of culture is more about the path that it takes to get there, right?
That's right. It's the journey.
Okay. So then what's the goal of somebody who's creating a geocache?
Well, as the owner of many geocaches, I've got about 85 out. I want to invite you to somewhere that I think you would like to be. So I've put a geocache there, and normally each geocache on its description page will tell a story. So it may be Sir John Johnson's manor house in Williamstown that I want you to go as a person that may drive by Highway 34 a lot but never pop in. I want you to come in now and explore and learn the history of Sir John Johnson in the manor house in Williamstown.
Neat. So in the case of this event, this Cash In, Trash Out event, there's an environmental focus, I guess, right? Why is conservation a good focus for geocaching in terms of the path that you want people to follow?
Well, South Nation is interested in partnering with the geocaches of Eastern Ontario because it's a great way to actually bring people right into our 14 conservation areas across our watershed. And it's a great way to be able to educate them on some of the features through the geocache and the listing and the information that's available there. They can learn about some of the natural features around them as well as the history where applicable if we can dig some of that up. So
I guess one of the most significant events that ever occurred in the South Nation was the Lemieux landslide, where they had proactively gone in and analyzed ground problems and said there's going to be, or there could be, a landslide here that's going to be potentially very big. And lo and behold, just years after the town had been moved, that landslide did occur. So there are geocaches, one at the cemetery in the Lemieux landslide, which tells the story of the landslide and the day that it happened and the effects of it. So people can go there and learn more about some of the processes and some of the engineering that the South Nation Conservation Authority provides to the areas in Eastern Ontario.
It seems as though these two things are sort of just intrinsically linked, right? That people who would be inclined to get into geocaching would also want to maybe to do their part from a conservation perspective, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a natural fit. When we, as the geocachers of Eastern Ontario, felt that we wanted to get more organized, we wanted to make better geocaching in Eastern Ontario, we approached the South Nation Conservation Authority, and they were very open to listening to what we said. And that started the relationship. So we've been doing this now. This will be 5 years. So the very first one was a huge experiment. Nobody had ever tried it before. And it was an overwhelming success, as each and every year has successfully grown to make them even bigger and better. So it's become a geocaching destination of choice and an ability for the South Nation to distribute their message to people that are listening to their message.
Tim, can you tell me, over the last 4 years of this event, what sorts of things have people turned up when they've been doing the cleanup?
Yeah, we've had all sorts of things come in. In our first year, actually, we were pulling fencing and all sorts of things out of the river down up a steep bank, and I think Ian was actually there, and they pulled up, I believe, a washing machine and rolls of farmers' fencing, and they kept on going, and I think
lo and behold, we found a Volkswagen.
Yeah.
A Volkswagen.
Yeah, it had been there for a long, long time, and it was
it was down in the water.
Yeah, it was just down in the water. We saw it, so we put a chain on it. We had a big truck with a winch, and we hauled it up and took it away. And apparently that Volkswagen had been there for about 30 years. It was a wreck, and somebody had dumped it in the river. And of course, once Volkswagen goes in the river, it's going to stay there a while.
Before I let you guys go, I just want to say it seems like a romantic idea, this sharing secrets across latitude and longitude. I just want to know, Ian, you've traveled the world for this. What have you gained from getting involved in the culture of geocaching?
I think the thing I've appreciated most is that I've been taken to places in different areas of the world that aren't necessarily on the tourist brochure. They're the places that the people that live there, that have grown up there, that have spent their life there, want to take me to. So you learn to appreciate a different, more intimate knowledge of the area you're visiting. The other thing that it's really brought forward to me is a whole new group of friendship. And the people that I've met through geocaching have probably been the nicest, most fun, positive-looking people that you'd ever want to meet.
Great. Well, best of luck with the cleanup. Here's hoping that you turn up something as neat as a Volkswagen this time around.
Hey, we're going for an ocean liner.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.